Hey, so here's what I've seen with anxiety. First and foremost, my own. I had anxiety just really bad for years and years, and now it's gone. And then how did that happen? In a minute, we're going to listen to Philip, who I just worked with a half an hour ago, and I work over Zoom with people, and I do this thing that somebody did to me, and it helps energy move through the body in a particular way, and somehow that did something to my anxiety. And somehow Philip just had a really similar experience, and he's going to report that from last week, he was suicidal and has been for a number of years. His anxiety's been so bad. His identity, his belief that he was fraudulent, he was a fake, he was really full of shit. He came after a after a psychedelic mushroom experience where he got to see so clearly that he was living in a way that wasn't wasn't truthful. And that he somehow had built up this personality, this persona, so that he could get through life, do the things that he thought he was supposed to do. And but what he saw at the heart of it was this was a personality that he developed, he built, and that because it was fictional in nature, he wasn't living in an authentic sort of way. So if that's the situation, then what do we do about it? Well, here's here's what I've found to be what I think to be the core of how it was that I went from complete anxiety, same thing with Philip and many of the other folks that I work with, to absolutely no anxiety. That the anxiety was like on a car dashboard, like an oil light or a check engine light. It's just a warning light. And anxiety is a warning light that yes, we need to listen to it. Yes, we need to into it, but we don't do anything with the warning light. The warning light's supposed to be there telling us something is off. So when we get into a trauma response, a fear response, a panic response, we twist. We twist away from it because the body doesn't like to be afraid or scared or traumatized. We actually contort ourselves. We twist our brain. When we twist our brain, that's going to trip the check engine light. It has to. We're built with a check engine light to let us know when something's off. So when we freak out, we twist our brain, stuff in the body doesn't work right because the wiring is being twisted. I can give it to you in bigger scientific and medical language, but you don't need it. We twist the brain, we stretch the spinal cord, which is the brain, and that starts to throw everything out. The organs don't work right. The brain doesn't work right. The guts don't work right. The reproductive organs don't work right. The heart, the lungs, the thyroid, the numbness and tingling, all can be tied back to a twisted and stretched spinal cord and brain. Okay, so then if that's the situation, what do we do? Well, there's the ego thinks that it can go and stretch and breathe itself back into alignment, and that will never work because the ego is not designed to put us back together. So we have to look a little bit more deeply about what we are and what our nervous system is. And it's a relational, we are designed as relational beings. And what does that mean? Like starlings that fly through the air, 10,000 of them make this beautiful murmuration. Each starling has a nervous system that is relational. It will only thrive and only feel content and only feel like it's in the right place in the world when it is co-regulating, co-vibrating with another starling, and ideally like nine other starlings, or maybe the whole flock. So if we have a similarly designed nervous system, how do we then find our way back into co-regulation with another nervous system? Now, what I'm not saying is finding somebody else to heal us, but we are healing ourselves by recognizing what we are. And then we recognize what we are as a relational being, then we are going to choose specific other nervous systems to put around us as a way to mirror our body back into alignment, back into connection with a higher self. So you're actually saving yourself by choosing the nervous systems to put around you And you need to do that first. You can't isolate, go into the woods, go into meditation and heal yourself and then come back to the tribe. It's the other way around, is how, but healing by design is recognizing that your nervous system needs to find safe and aligned and in touch nervous systems to then surround yourself with. And then the work to be done is how to allow the energy that now has access to your system to start to reorganize you. So let's move over and listen to what Philip just had to say 15 minutes ago about his move from being suicidal and anxiety ridden last week to where he is right now. If you want, just say, just share with us again what you did about the anxiety.
Oh, since our first session last Friday to today, which is Tuesday, the anxiety levels have just dropped. There was such a constant high, and now they're just like coming way down. And this past week is or past days, whatever it's been lower and lower and lower. And right now it's like nothing. There's no anxiety,
No
and it's our second
anxiety.
session, and it's just like nothing.
So
Yeah,
you're sitting.
it's
So
fantastic.
how does it feel to just be being right now? Like there's no, because anxiety is what? It's just you're being, but you're being assaulted by scary thoughts or momentum of that's how I experience it anyway.
It is, yeah, it's true. It's like you're being run by something outside yourself constantly.
Yeah.
You got to constantly look for something that's looking for danger. Right now, there's no sense of danger. It's just a sense of well-being and peace.
What were you just feeling in your body a minute ago that we didn't record, but what does that feel like?
Oh, um, it was incredible because I could feel my vertebrae and my tailbone were just like snapping back into place. I could physically feel them clicking back into place as they went down from my pelvis down. I could feel the tailbone going click 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 click. And then when we did the on the up the neck, I felt like the vertebrae of my neck straightened out along with them, so they became a proper curve
Mhm.
down my body, the proper alignment. It actually went into alignment on its own.
That sound, yeah, yeah, yeah. So did it feel like the energy was the energy or the intelligence, whatever it was that was moving through you? Is that what was doing it?
Yes, because I felt the warmth spread. There's a sense of warmth and well-being that preceded it,
Hmm.
and then it moved into place when as that warmth increased and the energy flow increased, the blood flow increased. It's like the bones were like, oh yeah, this is where I need to be, and they aligned.
Yeah.
They
What
went into alignment.
seems like the anxiety, at least to me, is an internal alarm that something's off. It's just like a dashboard light, something's off, something's off, something's off. But we just didn't ever learn that even a posture of fear or resistance can be the thing that's off. And if the posture is off, it's just a physical, a physical behavioral postural shift that then drives this constant anxiety. Because
Yeah, because I could feel it down within my body. It's easier to hold my head up,
uh,
and I don't feel like I need a slump. I don't feel like I need to drop my shoulders, or have my shoulders up into my ears. It actually is not doesn't feel right. So it feels better to sit up and have my neck holding my head properly.
yeah.
That I could feel that the alignment feels correct.
And to that point, you couldn't, an hour ago, you couldn't have pushed your head by doing a stretch or doing yoga, pushed it into a place that would have been the right alignment that would have ended the anxiety. Like the critical piece here is surrendering to an intelligence and energy that then will reorganize you, realign you. Like it has to be done in tandem with this energy that's designed to align you in the first place and then keep you aligned by having these energy channels, if you will, open or behaviors. There's a real,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Well, welcome back to the
Yeah.
space.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Yes. I just wanted to share with you his report of what it felt like, whatever it was that we did. how he feels now and what he noticed on the inside as this energy thing came through him. And the point that I really like to drive home again and again and again is that it's not wasn't me doing something to him, right? But I wasn't doing nothing. So what was I doing and what was he doing? If our nervous system is relational and we bring people around us that are like mirrors. So I basically was in a way acting as a mirror back to him. Like this is where you are. But it's a little bit more than that. Like when you go couples dancing and you're dancing with somebody, you're not just mirroring, you're not just being a passive mirror, but you're moving in a way that ideally you can surrender and relax and into a flow state so that your whole body then moves together. The two bodies move together. And the spine is designed to do just this. And what's the spine? It's just a housing around your brain. It's a housing around the brainstem and the spinal cord, which is what? Just the body's energy and emotion. And when that thing is twisted, you can't connect to others and you can't connect to yourself. If it's twisted, you can't connect to others and you can't connect to yourself. And this is, I think, part of one of the ways that we get it wrong when we go out to the woods or we go into deep meditation is we want to connect to ourselves first so we can clear up our own issues so we can become whole and then bring a wholeness back to the tribe. And it makes sense from one perspective. But if we look a little bit more deeply into that yes, we want to become whole so that we can be more whole with the tribe. But the actual coming home really is done in solo and not but and in tandem by co-regulating, by you finding another being that your body relaxes with. So that's you figuring out how to heal yourself as not only a separate being, which requires time alone, motion time in motion, time with your breath, time with your silence, time where there's nobody else around, time to organize your focus inward. That's part one. And the other part is we must have time with the others because our nervous system requires it. It's designed that way. I'm going to show a little video here, maybe one that you've seen before, a little video here of what this looks like. You'll see me pointing, and I'm not shooting energy from me to the other, just like the starlings that are flying aren't shooting energy at each other. They're actually finding a way that the energy is moving through the two of them together. So when I'm pointing, this is basically me organizing my own focus to keep up with the energy I feel moving through him. That's really what I'm doing is I'm keeping my focus on the energy as it's moving through him. I'm not sending it from me. So those of you who are life coaches or Reiki practitioners or energy workers, I think there's a real opportunity to really see your growth improve in your practice if you're still working with the I'm sending energy to them. And if you can look at that assumption again, like what happens if I just with my nervous system find where the two of us are already merged, already co-regulating, and really just keeping up with that energy, whatever that is, an intelligence that's moving through the two of us together, that big thing that's moving all the starlings, that one intelligence that's coordinating all of those starlings together. When two starlings surrender to that intelligence together, then there's the co-regulation that happens. That's the key moment. One starling isn't coming over to heal the other one. The one starling is coming over to then help the other one surrender to the same thing that's moving through them. Whether you want to call that self or spirit or God or prana or kundalini, call it what you want. And that's not enough. But actually having a practice, a devotional practice where you actually get on the court and you're practicing your swings, you're sitting on the mat, you're doing the work. But make sure you're doing the right work. You're not sending energy to yourself. You're helping yourself vibrate back in to alignment by connecting with that which vibrates you back into alignment. You can't do it by forcing your neck or your spine to stretch in one way. You cannot will yourself into alignment. You have to surrender yourself to the thing that's trying to put you in alignment in the first place. All right, I'll show you a little video here and then on to the next one, and have a great day, y'all. Okay, so again, to reiterate the point, if we aren't connected to ourselves and to the others, but first and foremost to that energy that is aligning us. In this situation, it's the energy that is aligning her to herself. She has to have anxiety. The connection, the reconnection, is the death of anxiety. If you want to know more, feel free to reach out, send me a note. I'm happy to chat. Okay, thanks, y'all.